Hi, I'm Kathleen. I had a Stretta procedure about 2 years ago. I came to the Stretta procedure because even though I was taking a protonic, I was still having symptoms. I started having symptoms in 1992. It started as bronchitis, and my doctor said that he thought I had pneumonia. I've never been that sick, and I missed 2 weeks of work. I was really frightened about it. I'm not a sick person. I don't like being sick. So when I went back to him, he gave me some pills that were supposed to affect my coughing. When I went back and I wasn't much better, I mentioned to him, you know, there's burning when I cough too. It's not just the coughing, but it burns in my throat. And then he told me I had GERD. I didn't put that together. I never put together coughing with my esophagus or my stomach. It just didn't make sense to me. So he put me on a pill. That was in 1992. And I continued on that pill until 2 years ago. So I continued on that pill, and as time went on, I had more symptoms. Continued to have symptoms. I would still get coughing. I would still have bronchitis. There'd still be acid. So when I complained about that to my internist, he said, well, try Mylanta after every meal. So now I was taking a protonic and Mylanta. And that, you know, worked for a little bit. And then the symptoms were back. So my life before coming to Dr. Noor and getting the Stretta, my life was acid burning in my throat from about 10 o'clock in the morning until the rest of the day, problems with eating, problems with regurgitation, just being miserable where food is concerned. And I love eating and I love food, so I was not a happy person. Sleeping was horrible. Sleeping, the only way I could sleep comfortably was to sleep almost sitting up on my back. And that's not my preferred way of sleeping. And I would be up and down and up and down. My husband would always say, the next morning he'd say, it was pretty bad last night, wasn't it? I mean, he was just kind of used to that. Night was really the worst time for me. And there were times when I actually regurgitated, which is a horrible feeling. And waking up with that, that's what would happen. I'd wake up with that horrible feeling. So I talked to my internist about this, and he said, because I had explored surgery and I didn't want to do surgery, I didn't want to do major surgery and maybe not have it work. That was just too frightening to me. So I talked to my internist about it, and he said, you know, you might want to try this. He didn't know about Stretta, which is a shame. I think more of the internists should know about the Stretta. He didn't know. But he did send me to Dr. Noor, and that was just the beginning of the miracle for me, because they explained the Stretta and how it could work. I had all the tests done, and they said I'd be a good candidate for it. I had it done in November of 2011. I had a little bit of sore throat for maybe 2 days. The procedure itself was nothing. The procedure itself, I was really motivated to have it, but still, it was really nothing. There was no, you know, except for the anesthetic wearing off, there was nothing. So, and then the symptoms were gone in the beginning with the pill. Then there was so much, I had heard so much about how the protonics were stopping the absorption of calcium. I was getting older. I was worried about osteoporosis. I had bone density scans, and everything was on the edge. So now that the symptoms have, I don't want to say disappeared, but they're much less. I'm just a happier person. It's more fun to eat. I can cook Mexican now. I do stay away from tomatoes. I've just kind of started to do that. I thought the other day I realized, oh my gosh, I'm sleeping the way I want to sleep. I'm not a person who sleeps on my back, and when you have to sleep sitting up, you have to fall asleep on your back. And that's was never my habit. Now I can sleep the way I want on my side, and I didn't even realize that that had happened. You know, it just kind of snuck in. I was so glad to have that back again. And I'm not as crabby as I was, because acid makes you crabby. Having that feeling in it made me crabby, let's put it that way. Having that feeling in your throat all the time, and especially if you can't do anything about it at the time. That's something I didn't talk about. It affected my work. I was a trainer in customer service. And if I was having a coughing attack or an acid attack while I was training, I had to stop what I was doing, take a drink of water, get some Mylanta, whatever. So it affected just my speaking to people. That was hard. So now, you know, with the Stretta, my life's just really different. I talk to people about it all the time, and I really call it a miracle, because it absolutely is a miracle. It's changed the way I eat. I eat healthier, and I'm a person. I'm not a GERD person. I'm a regular person. You know, I'm not saying, excuse me, let me go get my Mylanta. I'm not, you know, popping Tums all the time. I'm just a regular person. It's such a miracle, such a wonderful thing. I'm not only happier, I have a stronger esophagus, which is terrific, because when you're 70, every time you go to the doctor, they go, well, you know you're 70, you know things are falling apart on you. So my esophagus is not, it's stronger.